Where you go to school, what's your major, and what are you founding?
I'm a UCLA student and I'm founding Slimy Honey, the world's premier gourmet slime company.
What do you think separates good founders from great founders?
A balance. I think a lot of times people think you need to go dedicate your life 24/7, but I think entrepreneurship is such a wide umbrella that depending on the type of business you're trying to create, I do like 1 to 2 times a week of 3-hour just brainstorming and creative sessions. And a lot of times people will think that's just a waste of time, but I think giving myself time for creativity and kind of living a more balanced lifestyle has allowed me to really dedicate myself. And that's what has caused me to have so much success within the industry. And
How did you navigate and deal with imposter syndrome?
I didn't really care too much that most of the founders that I was surrounding myself with were older than me. It was more so people my age that I was more intimidated of because, people in my high school would make fun of me a lot. No one really believed in it and everyone would talk shit behind my back basically. And, it was interesting to see because on the other end, once I became successful, once I was on Shark Tank my senior year, everyone was so in awe of the business and how everyone's perception of me changed so instantly.
So how was it like being on Shark Tank? Tell me about that process as somebody who wasn't even legal yet.
Yeah, the Shark Tank process was the most incredible experience of my life. It'd been my dream to be on Shark Tank ever since I was 6 years old. And so to be on it at 17 was just like, it was wow. It was definitely a very draining process. I think people don't realize that there's so many rounds and factors that go into casting a Shark Tank company. I ended up making a deal with Daymond Johns.
As a founder who's now 5 years into the business, what is the one thing that you wish you knew?
I think now that I'm on the other end, it's all about how confident you are. I think at the beginning of my journey, there was a lot of self-doubt. There was a lot of fear of what other people thought of me. And because I went into it with such a headstrong, I knew I would succeed and I really wanted it to happen. I knew that it was all worth it. And now coming up on the other end, I wish I could just tell myself 5 years ago, it doesn't matter what your high school friends are going to say. It doesn't matter, if your parents think it'll be successful or not, because it is going to be.
What was your lowest point as a founder?
My lowest point that I can remember was at the beginning. I told one of my best friends that I wanted to start this and he said, "That is the dumbest idea and I will make fun of you." That honestly, it resonated with me for a long time. And it was so interesting to see because actually a year later I employed him. And so when I first began, that was a really tough pill to swallow that even my best friend doesn't believe I can do it. But it all worked out in the end.
What is the one message that you would want to say to any high school kid or even middle school kid that wants to start their own business but is just too afraid to start?
I was in your exact shoes. I never thought that I would have a business. I thought I was too young and that I would leave the businesses to the MBA people. But I think there's a certain type of creativity that comes with being young, and there's a certain skill set that you have while you're young that you kind of lose as you grow up. I would just say just do it because there's no better time than now. You learn by doing. You're not going to learn anything more in MBA school than you can't get while you're actually building the business. I didn't need an MBA to build my company. Most of my high school founder friends don't need MBAs to be successful. I was just a normal kid from LA. You can do it too. I'm not anything special. So
Thank you so much, Mark. That was amazing.
Of course.